Hey, Meeple people, how's it going? So, we have been asked, sometimes by viewers and sometimes in comments, on our game room. And we thought, because we got some new additions to our game room, games and non board game related things like nice chairs and stuff. And so we wanted to go ahead and talk to you about our amazing game room. And yeah, so we're gonna go start off with Sarah, and she's gonna tell you about some of the disclaimers that we might be talking about so much in this video. So without further ado, Sarah, would you be our disclaimer, please?
Hi, everybody. A couple disclaimers. We're not sponsored by anybody, so anything that we talk about in this video is just because we have it in our house, because we want it in our house, not because anybody paid us to say anything about that. And any of the games that you see that are in this room, for the most part, are on BGG under my username, which is Sarah M. Traeger, Trager. So if you want to actually see our collection,
Links in the description.
Okay, cool. If you actually want to see a list of all the games that we have, it'll be on our BGG profile. However, we do have some sort of obscure games or vintage games, and if they don't automatically come up on BGG, I do not take the time to put them in. So some of the games are not on BGG, but for the most part, all the games in this room are on our BGG profile. Without further ado, let's show you some of the cool stuff that's in our game room. I love this room. It's my favorite room in the house. This is the first house that we've ever owned and the first house in which we've ever had room for a game room. So it's my favorite room in the whole house. I love this room. Let's show you around. So there's about 800 or 900 base games in this room, and if you count the expansions, there's over 1,000 different titles in here. And then there's also just a bunch of fun stuff. So we'll start in the corner over here. I'm going to shut the door a little bit. We'll show you just kind of some of the fun things that are in the room. Over here in this corner is all of the lanyards from all of the conventions that Nick and I have ever been to. We've gone to a lot because I do work in the industry, so I've been to a lot of conventions just through work, and I've kept all of my lanyards, and there's pins and buttons and stickers and all kinds of things that are attached to each one, and it's kind of fun to look back over them because each of them is sort of a little capsule memory. So that's all of our lanyards from all the conventions we've been to. We also have this right here, which is a piece of art that I created with a shadow box and a game from my childhood, which was this sort of Scooby-Doo matching game. So we don't have children, we're child-free by choice. We're never gonna have kids, but I did want to keep this and sort of be able to use it in some way. So I created this display out of it. In the corner over here, we have a storage crate that holds a bunch of Catan expansions. Catan's one of my favorite games ever, so we've got a ton of content for it. So that crate holds a bunch of our Catan stuff, and then on top of it we have this tote which has a bunch of different playmats for a bunch of different games that we have playmats for. And then in this shelf over here we have kind of some random stuff. Starting at the bottom we have just some storage that contains our bags of bags of bags of bags and all kinds of other little things that we use when we organize our games. We have dollar store Tupperware containers in there and rubber bands and some Hugo's Amazing Tape and that kind of stuff. We also have over here, we have some bit bowls that we've collected over time. So we'll use these when we play games to actually put our components in it. We've got pens and pencils, which is important for a game room. And then everything on this shelf here is sort of puzzle items. There are games that are either solo play games from the Van Ryder book series, or we've got these sort of solo puzzle things that you can work on. We also have just standard decks of playing cards and paper over here. We've got card holders. We call these baguettes. So we have these card holders, and sometimes we'll say to each other, if we're setting up a game or in the middle of the game, if we realize there's a lot of cards, we'll say, hey, do you want a baguette? And we'll get these card holders. We also have a chess timer over here and a couple other random implements for tabletop gaming. Some of the fun stuff that you'll see here is stuff that I've picked up at conventions or people have given us. So there's just a bunch of fun little things interspersed throughout the whole game room from my entire career in the industry and then our career as hobbyists. So lots of fun stuff. Then we have shelves and shelves and shelves of games. Like I said, pretty much all these things are on BGG, so if you want to look at like what we actually have in the collection, it's mostly on there. On the top shelf, we have all of our like vintage games, or games that are a little bit more like mass market games. Some of these I've had since I was a child. Some of them have been gifts from well-meaning friends or family over the years. Some of them are collector's items that we've just kind of hung on to. And then over here in this corner, we have this really cool light. It's a meeple-shaped light. It's not plugged in right now, otherwise I would show you. It's pretty neat. And then we also have all of these different tabletop-themed stuffies, which I've accumulated over the years. Some of these have been gifts. Actually, I think all of these have been gifts from people who know me and know how much I love the hobby and things like that. The stuffy collection started with this guy, who is the dragon from Tasty Minstrel Games. This was a gift from Daniel, who used to work at Tasty Minstrel when it was still sort of operable. I worked for Tasty Minstrel Games as my first booth staffing experience ever, way back when. And as a thank you, Daniel sent me this little guy and a thank you note and some other things from the company in the mail after I returned home from that convention. Very, very sweet, and he kind of started out our stuffy collection. So more games. We've got little knickknacks on the shelves too. This one right here is from Origins Game Fear. Several years ago, I filmed an episode of Drunk on Games with my friend Jonathan, who is the host. And so he creates like drinking rules for a lot of different games, and we filmed an episode at Origins, so that's sort of like a little keepsake from that adventure. I made this. I found these shadow box frames in a thrift store, and I thought it would be really fun to put them to some sort of crafty use, and that's one of the things that I ended up doing with them. I had a lot of fun with that. There's also some Catan art on the wall over here, and I actually had that one framed. Those were sort of like these business card things that you could accumulate at conventions, and if you got enough of them, you could turn them in for like prizes, but I just wanted them for their art value. Over here in the corner, we keep a stack of Sterilites that we put our games that we are cycling out of our collection into. And right now, every single one of these is full. We have our trades are on BGG too. No pressure, but you can take a look at those if you want. We'll usually trade with other BGG users, or we'll take these to local events to do like buying, selling, trading kind of thing. So we just keep these stacked up over here because we cycle games out of our collection pretty quickly, and it's convenient to just pop the games into a bin and keep them here until we're ready to get rid of them.
Cute.
Over here, we have these 3 shelves right here are probably the bulk of our collection, which is not on BGG. And that's because these are historically accurate games, which have been recreated by a company called New Venture Games. So some of these games are thousands and thousands of years old, and New Venture has published them now in modern times with like interpretations of the rules and kind of like a little bit of their history and that kind of stuff. I really find that entire line to be super fun and informative. However, none of them are on BGG. But it's very, very cool if you're interested in like tabletop gaming history. I definitely recommend New Venture Games. They have a really cool YouTube channel where one of the guys from New Venture will talk about all kinds of different stuff related to tabletop gaming from like a historian's perspective. So very, very cool. We also have over here, we have some of the little Takenoko chibis, and we have Papa Takenoko back here as well. But we do not have Mama. We found her at a convention some years back, but the vendor was accepting cash only, and we had no more cash, and the ATMs were out of cash. So we were not able to pick up Mama, and I've never seen her since. So our family is incomplete. But we also have some other fun stuff over here. One of the things that we collect in our game room are some of the dice. So these are from Double Exposure. That's the company that I work for. We also have a set over here from a friend of mine who gave them to me. It says Sarah's Casino. They're from Las Vegas. We have some from Panda, which is a manufacturer of board games. They created that set there, and they were giving them away at an exclusive event several years ago. I love these itsy bitsy little teeny tiny dice. Those are really cool. I don't even know where I got those. I think someone may have given them to me. We also have these dice here, which have like playing card faces on them, and these here, which have like letters of the alphabet on them. We have some Tantrum House die. These are these really beautiful glass meeples that Jennifer Ham of Jennifer Ham Glass has made. She is Rahdo's wife from Rahdo Runs Through. She has a glass business. She makes jewelry and other little things. Very, very talented. She makes some beautiful stuff. And we picked up this set of meeples from her, I don't know, I think last year maybe?
Yes.
So just some other stuff. We've got all kinds of fun things in here. This was from the lady who does the board game mosaics. She did a Kickstarter, and this was one of my favorite designs of hers. So we picked that up in a coffee mug. We've got some fun sort of like jumbo dice here and here. Those I just got from almost like an Oriental trading company sort of place. But these were from a yard game. And you could actually play like yard games with these, but I just kind of like to have them on my shelf. This over here, I forgot to mention this. This one here was given to me by one of the convention goers at a convention several years back. I pointed it out on they had one like hanging from their satchel, I think it was. And I said, oh, I love your little meeple ornament. That's so cute. And they brought one back for me later. So that was really cool. There's so many fun, sweet people in the industry. And then we have more games.
All the games.
All the games. We have this beautiful, beautiful table from BoardGameTables.com. We've had the table for about a year now. The chairs, though, we just got. We got the table last year, and we've been saving up to get the chairs. At first, we were going to just try to get cheaper chairs, because the chairs are pretty expensive. But we tried cheaper chairs, and they were cheap and garbage. So we tossed those, and we just ordered the chairs that match the table. So far, I'm very pleased with the chairs. Absolutely love the table. Highly, highly recommend it. I know that there are cheaper options, and I know that there are more expensive options. But frankly, this does it just fine. I've been very, very happy with these. And then over here is not games. This is like other stuff. So we have got all of our puzzles up here. And then we've got my Legos over here. So I build Lego. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, I think. And this isn't everything that I build. I have gotten rid of some of it. I'm trying to build a vertical Lego city. So that's why it's like this right now. But I have only pieced together like little parts of it. So I have this whole like fair scene going on here. I've got a bunch of the different Scooby-Doo sets from, I don't know, like 5-10 years ago. That's what I started with, actually, was the Scooby-Doo sets. I love Scooby-Doo. So I started with the Scooby-Doo sets, and I have all of those but one. And I'm hoping that I get it for Christmas this year. And then I started building other Lego things. And like I said, I don't keep all of it once I've built it. If I don't feel the need to like continue to own it, then I will cycle it out of my collection as well. But I am trying to build like I said, like a vertical Lego city here eventually. So yeah. Over here in the corner are some meeple pillows that we got from a Kickstarter that they run from, is it Mr. Meeple?
I think so.
I don't remember the name, but we got these pillows from that Kickstarter. They're really soft, and it's a fun thing to just kind of like have in the game room. And if we don't really have like a typical living room, but if we did,
because we live in the game room.
I might just kind of pop those in like an armchair or whatever. But since we don't really have that, we just kind of keep them in our game room and they hang out with us here. And then this thing right here was something that we got on Kickstarter. It is this wooden game for lack of a better word. There's you can play chess on it. You can also play like some different word games. It's got all these different blocks, and you can use the different blocks to do different things with the thing. It's cool. I would say it's more of a collector's piece really for us than anything else. We kind of put it on the wall and use it as like a message board. We don't really play any games with it, but it's a fun thing to have in our game room. So yeah, so that's just kind of like a quick and dirty, this is our game room. Like I said, it's my favorite game in the whole house, and I love it. If you saw something on the shelves that you have a question about, or you're curious about, or if you just want to know more, just ask us any questions you have in the comments, and we'd be happy to get back to you.
We love talking about our game room and all the games that we have in it. Now, have we played all our games? No. Have we gotten a little bit better? Yes. With combined effort. Usually Sarah's the one always teaching the games, and I was like, well, I want to play more games, and I feel bad for being the one that's always not learning the games. So I would start learning some of these games so we can play them, and they're good games. It's just we have, what is it, like our eyes are bigger than our stomachs or something like that?
Yeah, for sure.
We're like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. But yeah, so that, again, is our game room. And all its awesome gloriousness entirety of it. And yeah, we hope you all enjoyed. If you have any questions, saw anything interesting, or have questions on how we, I don't know, how we store it, or how we, we told you we get rid of our games, how we decide, maybe we can talk about that in a future video. But again, we hope you all enjoyed this and got to see a little bit of our game room. And you don't need a game room. You can play games anywhere. You don't
need this many games either. In fact, I love the amount of games that we have. It means we can always walk into this room and play an old favorite, or we can find something we've never played before. And that can be really fun. But you definitely don't need this many games. We sometimes, as just like a fun exercise, we say, okay, if we could only keep X number of games, which ones would you keep? And then we try to, reduce our 1,000 title collection down to 50 titles or whatever. And you really don't need this many. Get the ones that you want to play. Get the ones that you like. And if you have an opportunity to try other ones, awesome. If not, play the games you like. That's fun too. That's the fun part, right? Sometimes keeping up with a collection this big can be a chore. And instead of playing games, you're curating or maintaining. So it's definitely a blessing, but it's a double-edged blessing as well.
But the games, but the FOMO. So yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this.
Dick,
yes.
There was only one thing in this room that you could keep.
She keeps doing these things. She says they're fun, and they are fun.
I think it's fun.
Okay.
One thing. Which would you keep?
One game?
Yeah, if you could only keep one game out of this whole room.
Splendor. It'd always be Splendor.
He makes that so.
Always Splendor. Splendor forever. Best game ever. And Duel came out, and it just got better. Splendor Universe just got better. Marvel Splendor, we don't talk about that.
Well, I haven't actually even tried Marvel Splendor.
We don't talk about Marvel Splendor.
Splendor Duel is a lot of fun. But if I could only keep one item, it would not be Splendor or Splendor Duel. It would be Fleet the Dice game, because that's the best game in the entire world.
Matt Pinchback and what? Riddle?
It's Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They're some pretty good designers, and we quite enjoy what they come out with. All right. So again, we hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you got some enjoyment out of seeing this game room, and I hope you are continuously playing games. Until next time, people, we will see you later. Toodles!